So H5P, that's actually short for HTML5 package. It's an initiative that started around 11, 12 years ago. It's totally open source. And actually, it allows everyone that is involved in education to transform textual training course into an engaging interactive interface, different objects. And the interesting part, I'll go in that later in full detail. The interesting part is that this is fully responsive and fully multi-platform. So that means even for people that work on Linux and etc., there are the necessary tools to develop this type of learning objects. On the website at h5p.org, you will find a wide range of content types, and they are being increased. So there are more and more content types being added. And one of the next sessions, I will show you a video with detailed approach how you can use these content items. And we have decided to keep it as a video. So for those that want to watch it again at ease, we'll make the video available so you can go through it. So what are the key features of H5P? First of all, it's fully browser-based. In this sense that you can deploy it through a browser, you can create it through a browser. For example, Moodle has you can, in the backend, you can embed what we call an H5P editor. But for those that say, I don't feel comfortable to work on a browser and I want it on my laptop to work with, I will introduce you also to a free tool that can be used on a desktop application, and you can also create it. Interesting part also in the video, we're going to show both. We're going to show how to do it in a browser. We're also going to show how you can use these through the Lumi free software. It's quite plugin friendly. It works in Moodle, it works in WordPress, Canvas, Drupal. Ourselves, we have used a lot in Moodle and WordPress. And for certified deliveries we use Moodle. As I said before, it's open source. It's free to use. The content objects that you create, you can download. Then you can open yourself in your own Lumi or in your own Moodle. You can edit it, you can change it. It's very, very flexible. It's also mobile friendly, as I said before, so it's responsive. So if you open this on a tablet, if you open this on a smartphone, it will act like you're an app. So it's very nicely made. And also very important because, as you know, especially if you're offering public support, public training initiatives, at least in Bulgaria, they follow very strictly on accessibility guidelines. So it's WCAG 2.1 compliant AA. Not AAA, AA. Now, I used to work as an accessibility consultant for the Flemish government, and I always made a difference between technical and functional accessibility. Something may be fully technical accessible, but you give it to a person who is blind with a screen reader, and he will not succeed in working with it. So technical accessibility is not the same as functional accessibility. Here we have a high level of functional accessibility. It's not AAA, but it's highly functional accessible. For those that are a little bit techie savvy, it also incorporates ARIA, accessible rich internet applications. It follows so that the guidelines of the accessible rich internet applications with the necessary attributes for ARIA that are included in the coding of H5P. So in a whole, actually, the majority of the components meet very high compliance with accessibility. Some of the objects not, but in general, those that are problematic, we do not use. What are the types of content? Well, in total, there are more than 50. You will see that also when we'll play the video later on. You can, while you're creating a content, you can say, okay, how am I going to present it? Because that's always the question you have. Could have a very dull academic course, and this course has to be made engaging. It has to be made in a way that people do not, stare page after page. So you have to think, okay, how can I present this in the best possible way to engage the learner and to make it interactive where possible? What are the extra materials I have available? So for this, for example, it's always interesting. If, for example, you talk about a certain topic, we are busy in the bee sector. you have a topic on beehives. And there could be videos that are relevant to this. There could be pictures that are relevant to this. There could be audio relevant to this. You name it. So the thing is that you look at the content, you start thinking, how can I transpose it with all the additional materials, with all the tools that I have available? And it's literally like a Lego. You put a block, put another block, put another block, put another. So you keep on building up till you have something very engaging. Again, in the video, we'll see that in full details later on. So that's why I wrote at the end, it can actually be, all these elements can be combined into a set of learning sequences that you have till you reach all the necessary, let's say, interactions that will ensure you that the student who is studying this really grasps what it is about.
Yeah. One question.
Yeah.
But all this will be structured based on some content. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, we'll show that in the video because that's
Okay.
why we had that extra session, because here I talk more about how it is, what it is, and then in the video we'll see the demonstration actually, because while we play the video, we'll stop video and say, remember what I said with the sequence that you
Because I assume you first must think how you will structure this course,
so,
let's say, and then you start
well,
putting all the pieces.
It's good that you mentioned this. So normally when you develop such courses, for example, for the last two ones that we did, we knew from the beginning we wanted to have an H5P. So then we give instructions to the course developers that we want per content type, we want those type of content type, we want relevant videos, we want relevant pictures, we want explanation, we want workflow diagrams, you name it. Okay, it's good that you brought that up. So the H5P editor for desktop, and personally recommend when you develop H5P, you use the editor, because with the online sometimes you see like funny things happening. So I would really suggest that you develop that through Lumi desktop software. It is applicable for Windows, macOS, Linux. The way of working with it is quite similar to the online version. And you see actually here already, I search for the content type. So you have these 50 plus content types, and you select, this is the most relevant of what I want to use now for that specific content. And then you start adding. That we would like to introduce also then later on in the training courses. There you see a little bit a mix of everything, because also in there we have glossary functionalities, we have assessment functionalities, because we want someone really to be certified. It's a micro-credential. Going back to that later. And I will explain then why that is so suitable. I'm waiting till Alexander has taken his high definition picture.
This is also important, you know.
Okay. Yeah, you can, yeah. So here we have another example of H5P. That's an image that has that is enriched with overlays. So in the past, to do this, you had to have a developer that was going to pinpoint what you're going to display where with underlying code. Here with this editor is very plain simple. So you select and you get information of what it represents. The same you have here for assessments. The assessments are made interactive. There are different types of assessments. You can have drag and drop and etc. Here, for example, you have a multiple choice. You can set that the results are immediately shown, that you're immediately wrong, or you don't show that, you keep on going through the test. Normally what we do is, after each object, we do what we call a self-assessment, and people see what is the correct answer. Because it's self-assessment, you check yourself, you also want to know, okay, why is the answer wrong that I gave? This is another example. This is one that we developed for, that's a European project on uses of blockchain technology and certifying the origin of products. Remember in the summer camp in Sofia, we're going to have a presentation on that. And that's an interactive timeline. It's also developed through H5P. So you can actually, if you have a certain story to tell and the The historical facts are important. All these historical facts you can enter, and then these slides actually, you can go through it with your finger. It's slides. You can select the events, and these events are presented. Why is it done like that? Because if you have a book and you have to read all these events, it's boring. I mean, nowadays people do not like to read that much actually. So that's also why you have a visualization of specific content. We can do this also for this project as well. Now, why did we introduce H5P? Well, because of the relevance with micro-credentials. And micro-credentials, often people link that with VET. But actually, micro-credential relevant for adult education, vocational education, higher education, and whatever other type of education where you need to grasp a skill in a very short period of time. Very targeted, and at the end of the training, you must know it, you must be able to use it. That's what we call a micro-credential. So that's the official explanation there. Short target learning experience. It has to be short in time. So we're not talking micro-credential of 1 year. We're talking micro-credential of maybe a couple of weekends that you study something. So it could be, for example, in the case of BeeLieve, how to use a sensory detection system in a beehive. How to use it. That's a very targeted skill, and it's short. Maybe you will do that in 20 hours. Maybe you learn it in 30 hours, maybe 60 hours. But we are not talking micro-credential of a year. That we're not talking about. You could think the same of when you're in higher education. You follow a bachelor or a master, and in there you have a specific set of topics. One of the topics that you're missing is something which is not included in curriculum. Suppose, for example, because of the rise of AI, artificial intelligence, that at this moment is still not in your course material. Well, you could, in your higher education institution, introduce a micro-credential for higher education, specific topic, application of AI in this specific field that I'm learning. Okay. It certifies acquisition of specific skills, competence, and knowledge. As you know, when we talk, for example, about ECVET, vocational education training, they always talk about the curriculum should describe the learning outcomes specified as knowledge, skills, and competences. Nowadays, they change also competence into autonomy more and more. It has to be flexible, accessible, and career relevant. And it should be used for lifelong learning, upskilling, and reskilling. So I think, for example, if you look in the case of BeeLieve, it fits very well for that. What are the key characteristics? Here are some more. So focus and modular. Again, H5P allows this modularity to take place for micro-credential trainings. Shorter than traditional qualification, I explained to you before. It could be hours, could be a few weeks, but we are not talking about long durations. And always should be competence-based. So knowledge leads to skills, leads to competence. At the end, you must have the competence to act autonomously and carry out a certain skill or ability. Certified and verifiable. So that's why in the ones that we implement, once you have completed your micro-credential training, at the end, it gets assessed. So you have an assessment, let's say an examination that goes through. And then after that, there's an automatic digital badge or digital certificate issued. If we look, because we are busy in the open source environment, Moodle, H5P, so for that, Mozilla Open Badge system is very practical to apply that. We'll later on have a slide on that. Yeah, labor market relevance, obviously, it has to be a skill that you can use immediately. And portable and shareable. For example, you have a Europass. You share a Europass with where you want to work, with a education institution, whatever, and you can add to that a digital badge. And digital badge can literally be a picture of certificate, picture of Mickey Mouse, whatever. But then I download that picture and I run it through an open badge validator, a digital badge validator. This batch validate will say, for example, this training for an Aristotle University for this topic, passed with this grade. All the information embedded in the image. So that's why we call it a digital badge. It would also be for them the logo of a university, of an entity, or whatever. And that's why we say it's portable and shareable. You can send it as an attachment in an email to all those that are interested.
Say link or that.
As an attachment. So important. So once you have your badge, you download it, you keep it with your CV details. Of course, if you lose it, but you download it, keep it with your CV details. So, for example, people send me a CV and they attach my digital badge, and then you open the digital badge. The validates are freely available online, and they will also indicate valid. Because otherwise you think everyone can create such a certificate. No, because it is embedded within the system for issuing of digital certificates. There's also a safety there to ensure that you know exactly this is a valid badge that has been issued. My credentials, where are they used? So most of the time, people will, when they hear my credentials, they will link it with vocational education and training. But it goes much higher, as I said before. It's higher education, adult education, lifelong learning in general, and should help also towards any type of professional development. Important also, normally, it's working, bravo. Normally we follow, when it's vet training, we follow ECVET compliant curriculums. If you remember, in BeeLieve at the very beginning, I shared with all of you a compliant ECVET curriculum, which Cosvitec then use later on to create a curriculum. So that's something that we apply, and this is relevant for the project, in fact. So, H5 specifically supporting my credential vet trainings, and obviously this is done for BeeLieve specifically. So here, because we align, as I said there, the content with learning outcomes specifically. So we can have the content as customized and interactive as we want. It's up to the content editors. I'm not going to say content creator, but it's up to the content editor to see with all the materials he has available what he can do with it. I personally believe it would be a good advice that before people start creating content, we give guidelines of what we are looking for, the format we are looking for, because then it facilitates a lot the transformation of the reformatting of content for the H5P implementation. There are structured modules that is also in line with ECVET trainings, and it allows as much flexible learning as you want. We have implemented this, so both for Moodle and WordPress, and for Moodle we also developed a synchronized mobile application, a dedicated application for that. I will come back to that later on. Yeah, we have, when we want to look at competences, obviously we have to have the assessments there. You can, I put there a couple of examples. You can have multiple choice, you can have true, false quizzes, drag and drop exercises. This, for example, very relevant if you say, okay, I have an equipment I need to use, but where do I use the equipment? In what order do I use the equipment? And actually, you can also have a simulation scenario. What does that mean? You have a video, and this video is restructured in decision points. So you see video, next is what are you going to do next? And you click and you continue. You click and you continue. You have made a mistake, you failed the exercise. So this is also possible.
Does not create different scenarios as you see. You fail.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you choose the wrong scenario.
Yeah.
But this is also supported by H5P. The digital recognition, I said that before, that is with the digital badging. Accessibility inclusion, I also mentioned that before. WCAG 2.1 compliant, the AA, ARIA embedded, etc. And yeah, it's quite cost effective, because they're open source tools that we use. It's portable, and at the end of the project or at the end of a training, if, for example, I give an example. Suppose in this project we deliver an H5P, all of us, And then later on, you guys say, oh, but I would like to change that. I would like to change for bumblebees. Well, you take these objects, you download them. In the evenings, Alexander is rewriting the sessions, save, re-upload it. And you will have your own learning modules without having to redo all the reformatting and etc. So it's quite easy. And it contributes to the OER, Open Education Resources. So in general, for them, if it's on a project basis, we keep it open. What does that mean? People can download it, they can do with it what they want. It's pure OER. If it's on a dedicated training, obviously that's different, because then people pay to attend the training, then you don't keep it fully available. So this is a rough outline of how we normally do it. We set it up in Moodle. Either we use the Moodle editor and or the Lumi free software to create the objects. We integrate Mozilla Open Badge system in there so that a digital badge can be issued afterwards. Then we use an open source mobile framework whereby we create Android and iOS native applications. And they are fully secured through, they are fully synchronized with the online system through secure web services. So that means actually that this way we also respond, and we know this from trainings, if people want to learn something very quick and they are in a field, they're not going to drive home to sit on a desktop and to log in. No, they just have the app, they open it, they go in it. This is how it is done. So that's type D. In some literature, you will call this 21st century learning and teaching approaches. But it addresses this fully. Okay. Here is a small example of an H5P implementation. That's one for, for sustainable beekeeping. These are the learning outcomes. He or she or it nowadays needs to understand the principles of sustainable regenerative beekeeping. The person needs to be able to apply climate resilient hive management techniques. He, she, it should be able to monitor hive health using digital tools and bioindicators. Should be able to develop pollinator-friendly practices that support local ecosystems, and should comply with EU and national regulations when it concerns the practice of organic and sustainable apiculture. So, for example, in there you could have an interactive video that says a year in a sustainable apiary. So there you can really have, suppose, for example, we have videotaping in Plovdiv, we have videotaping in Poland, we have videotaping here up in the mountains, and etc. And you want to actually show what are the activities that happen, what is beekeeper doing in a whole time. Well, all these elements you can put together in an interactive video, and you can actually drive the user in different directions. For example, I am interested in this, and you bring them on a different track. So these are all things that are possible. You can bring up pop-up annotations. You can explain key activities. For example, the video stops or the video plays, and suddenly a plus sign or an exclamation sign appears. You click on it, you get more information. And you can embed within the video multiple choice questions. You'll also have a drag and drop, designing a pollinator-friendly landscape. How do you do that? What are the elements that you need as a beekeeper to make it pollinator-friendly? So then you drag those elements that are crucial to do so, and those elements that are not crucial, you don't drop. So based on that, again, you can do an assessment, you can do an immediate feedback, say, yes, that's good, because no, that should not be done because. Branching scenario, for example, here diagnose the hive health using digital tools. I said before that we have a wide range of technologies that exist. You have manual practices, you also have automated practices to look at the hive health. But you have a branching scenario, so you can actually again guide a person through a number of steps. Branching, you could say, okay, it's free branching, I go whatever direction, or you step-by-step guide a person with feedback at each step that the person takes. Then you can also have a quiz, eco-certified beekeeping practice and compliances. So these are the type of tests that I showed you before that you can use so that the person can self-assess. And then you get a micro-credential badge, which is a climate smart sustainable beekeeper badge. So you have completed all these 5 activities, you have done self-assessment, you do the test, you pass the test. In most cases, you put 70% as a passing rate. Depends actually on the vet institute, what they demand. But in most of them, we get between 60 and 70 as a demand. So once they have completed that, they are issued with a digital badge. And as I said before, they can download that. Or, for example, if the institute said no, we want an actual certificate, that means a printable document, then this printable document can be issued with all the needed information, what is the level and etc. that you have achieved. So in summary, when we look at ACE5P, so definitely it's very practical to organize it because it's actually not complicated. You just need to know how to do it. It allows for interaction. So it's not just reading. You can have an interaction with the content. You can have your self-assessment being done at a pace that is suitable for you. It supports module learning in VET, and the COVID, it is about VET, is modular. Competence-based digital credentialing, I explained before, and it's fully accessible. So these are actually the main elements why ACE5P is so suitable for market credential learning in the VET domain. And that brings me to the end of this presentation. If you'd have questions, please hold them till we have gone through the video, till I've shown you how the practice is on backend. Thank you very much.
By our colleagues from Poland, because they would like me, being the representative of the Ministry of National Education, to tell you something about our initiatives in the field of vocational excellence, which are in a way parallel initiatives to Erasmus Plus projects of centers of vocational excellence. And they are implementing the concept of vocational excellence. And our idea is to facilitate kind of networking between different initiatives so as to encourage cooperation, exchange of experiences, exchange of some good practices, especially in the field of beekeeping, which is the main, as I understand, theme of today's meeting. So I will share my presentation to tell you a little bit about our national projects and how we develop it, in which direction we are moving, what kind of effects we would like to achieve, and then we will move on to the example of a center in the area of beekeeping, so as to encourage this kind of collaboration between the Erasmus Plus project of BeeLieve and our national initiative. Yes, that's right. So as I said, I entitled it Networking of Centers of Vocational Excellence by combining Erasmus Plus projects with national initiatives, implementing the concept of also centers of vocational excellence. We have developed an initiative which is called Sectoral Skills Centers. It implements this European concept of COVES, of Centers of Vocational Excellence, which are established or which are created as part of Erasmus Plus project. Our initiative, the centers, Sectoral Skills Centers, are supposed to be very innovative and technologically advanced institutions of vocational education and training, which will implement the training itself, courses, innovative courses. At the same time, they will be centers of examination. They are created in partnerships with sectoral organizations, with employers in a given sector, also with research institutes, higher education institutions, like, for example, your university in Thessaloniki, and also in cooperation with authorities being the running bodies of a given school, of a given center. And they can be also private enterprises because they may be private on or public or non-public bodies. The aim of these centers is provision of targeted education and training, vocational education and training, aimed at upskilling, raising the qualifications, or reskilling, so changing the qualifications of individuals for the needs of labor markets. So they are very precisely designed to respond to the requirements of labor market, and that's why we focus on this cooperation between all these stakeholders, between the sector itself, the representatives of the sector, between the vocational education school or center, and the higher education institution, which, for example, develops some kind of initiatives or carries out some research in this particular sector, just to enable this transfer of knowledge, transfer of know-how from this higher, more advanced research area to a vocational area. So, as I said, sectoral skill centers will focus on various areas of activities, and the first one, the most important one, is just carrying out educational activities and examination. So the centers will be just the places where courses, innovative courses are carried out, are conducted. So facilities will be provided by the center. Educational facilities are provided by the center. The courses are, as I said, aimed at upskilling and reskilling of individuals. There are also aimed to facilitate the continuous development of vocational education teachers, and that's why in the centers, sectoral training for teachers is also conducted. And additionally, which is a kind of novelty, we also want in the centers we want to facilitate the development of some sectoral qualifications. So each center will be supposed to design a sectoral qualification in cooperation with a given partner, sectoral partner or employer, and certification of this qualification will also be conducted in the center. The second area of operation of sectoral skill centers is integration between the partners and support. So generally, we aim at integrating all the activities between businesses and education sector at the secondary level and higher level. We want the centers to be the mediators in establishing the cooperation between all that stakeholders. A very important area, which I also mentioned, is the transfer of innovations and development, modern technologies, analyzing the demand for skills and occupations in a given sector. So all this is aimed at the development of vocational education in a given industry. And finally, the final and also very important area is facilitating professional counseling, so career guidance, and also promotion of vocational education and training, promoting its attractiveness among young learners and also among adults who want to enter some sector or upskill, raise their qualifications in a sector. So generally, we want to encourage people to enter vocational education. We are building a national network of sectoral skill centers. We are aiming at creating 120 of them, and each one of them will be devoted to a different area. So as you can see in the slide, we have got the areas, the sectors range from heavy industry, construction, mechanics, transport, through some environmental, like chemical, renewable energy, also advanced technologies. We have got sectoral skill centers in automation, in mechatronics, robotics, etc. In health and social care, social assistance, safety and security, and also something that is close to your project. We also develop quite a wide range of sectoral skill centers in the area of agriculture, breeding, horticulture, forestry, and beekeeping. This is also a big concern for us. We are developing such a center, and it will be presented in a moment to show you what kind of activities it is carrying out, and to encourage this kind of cooperation, transnational cooperation and sectoral cooperation with this center. And we also have got beauty sectors, fashion, hairdressing, etc., and connected with economics, administration, and trade. So on the map, you can see that they are scattered all over our country, and they have been created, and they are at present, they are being established in the course of a competition carried out by a foundation for the development of education systems, which cooperates with the ministry. So the initiative and the reform is from the point of legislation, it is the role of the ministry. But the implementation of the project is carried out by a foundation which is cooperating with the ministry to enable the actual establishment of the network. So this is our national network. And what I want to kind of encourage now and encourage all the partners is to network within the sector, because there is a wide variety of benefits of networking, right? First of all, it is a chance to share practices, share experiences, all the deliverables of the projects, of the initiatives, to exchange the innovations, to exchange the know-how and the research results. All this, in fact, leads to raising the quality of vocational education and raising the effectiveness of the activities of the centers, of the projects. It fosters collaboration between all partners, so the industry partners, the higher education partners, and vocational education schools, centers. Also, I think it may be a kind of opportunity for learners to facilitate their mobility. It may also lead to better use of the EU funds that are involved, and generally it may, for us as the ministry, may have also big impact on creating and developing vocational education and training policy in every country. So I would really like to encourage such cooperation, and that's why I asked our friends from sectoral center for beekeeping to present their activities, what they do, how they develop, and maybe it will be a kind of encouragement for the partners from BeeLieve project to exchange your views and to kind of encourage this cooperation with this sectoral center. So now I will stop my presentation. Let me just see how to do it. Okay, now I think I know. And I can see our friend, Mr. Michał Stelmach from Sectoral Skills Center in Pszczela Wola, which is a town in Poland, in the east of Poland. And as I understand, the organizers have got the presentation of our Sectoral Skills Center. So I would like the organizers now to show the presentation, and our colleagues from the center will tell you something about it.
Good morning. My name is Michał Stelmach, and I'm a specialist at Sectoral Skills Center in beekeeping. I'm very happy about this meeting, happy to cooperate for development of bee education in the world. My personal assistant Beata will present Beekeeping Center in Pszczela Wola.
Okay, so good morning. We are happy to participate in the seminar devoted to the project BeeLieve, and we would like to take the opportunity to present our initiative of a sectoral skills center for beekeeping in Poland. Okay, so please next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so first, I'd like to say a few words about Pszczela Wola. It is a charming corner near Lublin in the southeastern part of Poland. The history of beekeeping education in Pszczela Wola dates back to 1945. Since then, the name of this place has been associated in the beekeeping world with high-level knowledge transfer, a teaching staff composed of active professional beekeepers, and the peaceful landscape surrounding the school. Okay, next.
Please, next.
In Pszczela Wola, there is a beekeeping technical school which trains future beekeepers at the secondary level. And for many years, it has been the only institution of its kind in the world. Today, we proudly welcome students from countries such as Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Lithuania, Belarus, and Slovakia, striking for excellence in vocational education and responding to dynamic changes in the sector. We have decided to go further towards a new, more advanced unit of vocational education and training, a sectoral skills center.
Please, next.
At the beginning of 2025, after 4 years of dreaming, planning, and intensive work, we are proud to announce the opening of the Sectoral Skills Center for Beekeeping. Thanks to financial support from the Recovery and Resilience Facility, in the course of a competition, establishment and support for the operation of 120 sectoral skills centers, implementing the concept of Centers of Vocational Excellence, COVES, Pszczela Wola has gained a top-tier educational facility in beekeeping sector. Next,
yes,
please.
Please.
Okay, so with the support of institutions such as the Ministry of Education, local authorities, and the Foundation for the Development of the Education System, a place has been created where we can train beekeepers using professional production lines and the most modern equipment currently available.
Yes, please, next. Please, next.
Next, please. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay, so our sectoral partner in this endeavor in the Association of Professional Beekeepers in Poland, which supports us in selecting the best teaching staff and shaping the curriculum of the courses we offer. The Lublin County, a project partner, ensures the proper formal implementation of the initiative. The centre also cooperates very closely with higher education institutions, the beekeeping faculty of University of Life Sciences in Lublin and University of Warmia and Mazury in Olsztyn.
Please, next. Please, next slide.
Okay, the center boasts advanced cutting-edge production lines for beeswax foundation and honey extraction lines, which is a very advanced equipment in the sector.
Yes, please.
The scope of the center's activity includes the provision of initiative vocational education and training in the form of specialized upskilling courses in beekeeping aimed at young people and adults being active beekeepers, and also sectoral training for vocational school teachers for the purpose of their continuous professional development. We train those who wish to pass this knowledge on to the next generation of beekeepers.
Yes.
Among the courses we offer, there are establishing and managing an apiary according to the beekeeping codes of good practice, queen bee insemination course, bee disease specialist, wild pollinator identification course, and preparing bee colonies for overwintering. The second pillar of the center's activities is strengthening cooperation between vocational education, higher education institution, and business within the knowledge triangle: school, university, and employer. The long-term educational process will be carried out in consultation with sectoral organizations and employers. The transfer of knowledge and innovations will be implemented through the cooperation with the higher education institutions, University of Life Sciences in Lublin and University in Olsztyn. We organize conferences where future beekeepers can meet employers in the field and learn what qualifications are valued in the beekeeping sector and what skills potential employees should further develop. A recent example was the conference titled "The Future Beekeeper: Opportunities for Growth, Future Competencies in the Development of Beekeeping." The last pillar of the center's activities involves career guidance and promoting of vocational education and training. Promoting beekeeping knowledge among children and youth is an important aspect of our mission. As part of the activity, we organize the National Beekeeping Knowledge Contest, Closer to the Bees, which is targeted at primary and secondary school students. This annual event brings together young people from all over the country who demonstrate their beekeeping knowledge both in theory and practice. We are proud of the Sectoral Skills Center for Beekeeping in Przelewola, a project that allows us to build on tradition while taking vocational education to the highest level and going far beyond the standard model of vocational education and training. Okay, we are pleased to give you this brief overview of our center's activities and invite you to visit our website, where you can find more information and contact us directly. We warmly encourage collaboration and, above all, a visit the picturesque surroundings of Lublin and Pszczela Wola, a cornerstone of beekeeping education in Europe. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I also wish to thank our colleagues from Pszczela Wola. I sent on the chat the email address to the Sectoral Skills Center because we truly encourage all the BeeLieve project partners to cooperate with the center. And I believe that this sectoral cooperation, right, will be very beneficial for everybody because it will maybe help to develop some new skills for the sector, to create some specialized courses. The exchange of experiences, innovations, and good practices may be very, very helpful. It will definitely raise the standards, help raise the standards of education for the sector. And generally, it will be beneficial for the development of vocational education. So we really encourage this kind of cooperation, this kind of networking, and I hope the contacts will be shared and will be maintained after today's seminar. Once again, thank you very much for inviting us, and see you and have a nice discussion also. If there are any questions, we are ready to answer them. If not, maybe you can put them in chat and we can answer them in an email exchange. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Beata, for your presentation and your collaboration. Thanks a lot to the Polish partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As well.
Carolina. So hello everybody, I am Anastasia Vlachou, I'm project manager at Erasmus branch, and today I'll present how staff mobility and digital training platforms impart transnational learning with lessons learned from our EU-funded projects. So Erasmus is a Greece-based SME operating in the agri-food sector. Beyond our commercial activity, we're actively engaged in EU research, education, and mobility projects since 2017, and particularly those that promote innovation, traceability, and skills development in the food value chain. Our goal today is to show how practical outcomes from these projects, highlighting their alignment with the BeeLieve project mission to foster connected learning communities and skills mobility. So transnational learning plays a crucial role in vocational education and training, especially in today's fast-changing labor market. It helps bridge skills gaps across regions by sharing best practices and aligning qualifications. Additionally to that, it turns labor mobility, making it easier for skilled professionals to move and work across Europe. It also accelerates innovation by exposing learners and educators to diverse methodologies, technologies, and cultural contexts. All of these align with EU strategies like the European Skills Agenda, the Green Deal, the Digital Education Action Plan, by preparing future-ready, adaptable workforces. So to make this happen, several EU programs provide critical support. So I have noted here 3, but there are a lot of more programs that provide this kind of support. And the first one is the Erasmus Plus project, which is the main EU program for education and training. It supports staff and student exchanges, joint curricular innovation alliances. Also, we have the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions that promote research, staff exchange, and capacity building. It funds secondments, joint research and training between countries and sectors, and it has a strong emphasis on skills transfer, interdisciplinary, and international mobility. Finally, I have noted the Digital Europe program, which has a special focus on developing digital skills and infrastructures. It funds digital training platforms, AI, ICT upskilling programs, and cross-border digital innovation. And it also supports the use of advanced digital tools in vocational training. So in today's global landscape, regional challenges require cross-border solutions. So that's why transnational cooperation is key for upskilling workers and modernizing vocational education. So why do they matter? So in terms of digital platforms make training scalable and accessible. You can access the training curriculum anytime, anywhere. Especially, this is vital in areas that are remote or underdeveloped regions. You can create adaptive learning paths and improve engagement and learning outcomes through this process. You can create collaboration and sharing a virtual community of practice, real-time feedback, and you can have multilingual content sharing. And of course, this is a cost-effective training process method, especially for SMEs with limited resources for having in-person programs on site. Focusing on mobility programs, of course, hands-on experience across borders enhances practical skills, intercultural understanding, and innovation. It builds an innovation mindset. Through staff and learning exchanges, we accelerate mutual learning, foster trust, and build long-term networks. And of course, we support harmonization of the VET systems in general by contributing to mutual recognition of qualification and standards. So I have, in more details, 2 case studies. The first one focuses on staff exchanges under the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. So the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions are funded under the Horizon Europe program and support researchers to mobility across country sectors and disciplines. So there are several key actions under this program. I'm going to focus only on the staff exchanges, and you can see here some information about the open call, the last open call, the 2025 open call. So the Marie Skłodowska-Curie action aimed to develop innovative and creative researchers by giving them exposure to different work environments and cultures. And just to see what it's about, you can see, sorry about that. You can see the eligibility, some of the eligibility criteria for this proposal to be funded. So these criteria involve the participating organizations, the staff members themselves, and the secondment, as they say, rules. So in order for a proposal to be successful, it must be composed of at least 3 legal entities independent of each other, established in at least in 3 different countries, 2 of them at least should be member states. Regarding the staff members that are going to implement the staff exchanges that are called secondments, they must have a direct contract with the formal link with the organization that they're working with, and they have to be linked to research and innovation activities for at least 1 month prior to their first secondment. And these researchers can be at any level of their career. I mean, they can be PhD candidates, they can be postdoctoral researchers, and also they can be technical staff, administrative staff, managerial staff. So you gain experience in all sectors of your employed staff. And regarding the secondments, the mobility, the exchanges, actually, these are called secondments. They can last from 1 to 12 months, and they are allowed only if they are interactive between academic and non-academic institutions. So the goal is to a staff from NSME, for instance, to be seconded to an academic institution, gain the knowledge from the laboratory there, and transfer it back to the industry. So here in Resos, we have 3 Marie Skłodowska-Curie funded projects. The first and the longest, it is almost completed, is FRITZ project, Sustainable Optimization of the Value Chain of Added Value Fresh and Dried Berries through the Integration of Precision Agriculture Management Strategies and Innovative Dehydration and Edible Coating. That's a long title. So this project aims to develop high-quality dried berries with extended shelf life using energy-efficient technologies and edible coatings. And in this project, we also integrate precision agriculture, and we conduct sustainability and socioeconomic analysis. And you can see in this slide an image of the work plan. I'm not going to go into details in such a technical project, but in more details about the implementation, you can see that there are 13 partners that are implementing this project across 5 European countries. It has a duration of 48 months, and there have been implemented 116 secondments, and the project has been funded with 2.5 million euros by the European Union. So the second project is Rio for Food, which is multi-actor research and innovation project for functional food. We are also coordinators of this project. And this project is about the design of functional foods using sea buckthorn berries. We use advanced methods like metabolomics and in vitro models to analyze health benefits. And this project also uses machine learning to optimize bioactive compound levels for different user groups. So some more details, we have 9 partners across 5 European countries. The number of secondments here is 99 in a duration of 48 months, and the funding for this project is 1.6 million. And just a quick look to the work plan, the work packages of this project. The last one is Verde Drive, harnessing byproducts for the creation of eco-friendly and sustainable diesel fuel. So Verde Drive focuses on converting byproducts like rose petals and maize into eco-friendly diesel. It's a multidisciplinary project combining agriculture, chemical engineering, and AI to find sustainable biofuel sources. This project is also implemented by 9 partners across 6 European countries. It has 27 secondments in a duration of 48 months as well, and it's also approximately 1.6 million funded by the European Union. And this is an image of the work plan as well. So as you can see, these are more technical projects, but the focus is on the staff exchanges that are being implemented, secondments through this project. So the Marie Skłodowskiej-Curie staff exchanges have had a significant impact on both the individual and organizational levels. So at the professional level, participants gain international intersectoral exposure. They gain experience in diverse environments, they boost adaptability and innovation. They get advanced training and mentorship. They have access to high-level supervision, technical training, and transferable skills. They improve their employability. As you may know, Marie Skłodowskiej-Curie Action alumni are highly competitive in both academic and non-academic sectors. And of course, they empower themselves through mobility. So they encourage their career autonomy and broaden professional networks. In terms of organizational level and transnational cooperation, we get to build a global research network. We enable through this implementation of these projects, we enable structured collaboration across countries, sectors, and disciplines. We encourage synergies between academia, industry, and society on a global scale. We fostered common standards, recognition of skills, and mutual learning across regions. And of course, we help participating organizations adopt international practices and digital tools, our organization being one of them, of course. So these were the projects that concerned mobility and staff exchanges. So for the second case study, I have projects that are related on digital training platforms, and we can focus on one project as an example. So our company participates in multiple EU-funded projects that leverage digital platforms to deliver scalable, inclusive, and flexible learning. These solutions aim to address skills gaps, support entrepreneurship, and foster cross-border collaboration. So these projects, in general, involve the development and deployment of online platforms for vet and lifelong learning. They focus on digital skills, sustainability, entrepreneurship, and circular economy. And these platforms are multilingual, mobile, accessible, and tailored for diverse learning profiles. And you can see here some screenshots of projects that Resos has been participating that involved the development of an e-learning platform. Either we were the lead partner for this activity or just a participant, a beneficiary partner. So some of the key benefits observed in such project implementation was the improvement of access to training for SMEs and rural learners, accessibility, scalable delivery across regions and borders, high engagement through gamified and interactive formats, and real-time monitoring of the learner progress and feedback. So I'm going to focus on one project, as I mentioned. This is a Digital Europe funded project called Trust Food, Advanced Digital Skills on Blockchain for Trusted Food Supply Chains. So the aim of this project is to support the development of advanced digital skills of the labor force, focusing on SME employees as well as to job seekers by providing high quality specialized training courses in the blockchain technologies that are applied only to the food supply chain. So this project involved the development and delivery of short-term training courses in blockchain. You can see here a list of our target groups. Mostly we focus on SME employees and job seekers. In a little bit more details, we are 14 partners across 10 European countries. The project is close to its end. It is ending in December, and it was funded by 4.5 million. 2.6 out of which were funded by the European Union. So regarding this project, the Trust platform is designed for flexibility, inclusivity, and real-world relevance. Some of the key features included modular e-learning content, allowing learners to focus on specific topics, self-paced asynchronous learning, ideal for working professionals, multilingual access. We have 20 courses in 7 languages. You can see here a list of the courses and the languages. We have a mobile-friendly interface accessible on any device, a comprehensive trainer and trainee handbooks, plus a detailed user manual for people to guide themselves through the platform. Also, the platform uses real-world case studies to simulate blockchain applications in the food supply chain, and our courses are designed for all experience levels, from beginners to professionals, and learners receive a certificate of completion after each course completion. So, reflecting on our experience, what we have identified in the 2 different projects that we have implemented, and I have here Fritz and Trust because these are 2 projects that are close to an end. We have a better perspective of what did happen in the implementation. So, what worked well? For the mobility project, strong interdisciplinary collaboration between researchers, agri-food companies, and policy bodies. And the mobility teams boosted our innovation capacity and exposed our staff to new technologies and practices. Some of the challenges we encountered when you are coordinating across partners with with diverse regulatory standards, some problems might arise. And of course, when SMEs are involved in the implementation, time constraints to commit to the research and training activities. What could be transferable for the BeeLieve project? So mobility programs focus on real-world sustainability challenges have an impact. We could emphasize mutual benefit in exchange. We can build vet content around real-time industry trends and digital tools, and of course, the implementation of joint workshops to translate research into policy and practice worked for these projects. Regarding the digital platform projects, what worked well? So flexible learning design, modular self-paced multilingual structure, supported board participation, real-world case studies and simulations increased the participants' engagement and application of knowledge, and having supportive materials really boosted our participants' engagement. Handbooks, user manuals proved to be very helpful. Some of the challenges: maintaining motivation when you have an asynchronous learning demanding self-discipline, and especially when you have less experienced users. And of course, here the SME's engagement challenges due to lack of time and mistrust in the benefits of training in blockchain, for example. What could be transferred here? Provide trainer and trainee support materials from the outset. Use real-world examples to ground abstract digital topics, and not only digital topics, in any topic. Design content with scalability and localization in mind, and of course, fostering a community of practice to maintain long-term engagement and peer learning is always the best practice. As a closing remark, our approaches directly support, we believe our approaches directly support the BeeLieve project, the core values of BeeLieve project, like as bullets, all projects that I have mentioned facilitate cross-border cooperation among academia, SMEs, and public bodies. That is core to BeeLieve's goal of regional and transnational learning. Digital platforms, mobility teams, and real-world case studies training embody BeeLieve's commitment to innovative, flexible, and inclusive learning approaches. Each project that I mentioned nurtures a community of practice and encourages mutual learning and reflects shared values like sustainability, digital empowerment, and equity that is mirroring BeeLieve's cooperation principles. And concluding, these models can directly support BeeLieve's vision for regional development and capacity building that are designed for scalability and adaptability. Which models? The models that I have mentioned, the approaches and tools used that exemplify scalable and adaptable practices like modular digital learning platforms, cross-border mobility, and staff exchange, public, private, and multi-stakeholder training collaborations, and real-world sector-specific case-based learning. That's it from me. I want to thank you very much, and I will be
Today that I was going to live demonstration of the platform, how to do things, how to create H5P, how to use the software, create it so that whoever is interested can watch it at their own pace. So you will hear a gentleman speaking. It's not me, but it's definitely he, will present the creation of the modules. And here and there I will stop to clarify a little bit more. But as I said, it's about 40 minutes long. And it should actually allow you really to understand step by step how to do it.
We will begin this session by exploring the process of transforming plain text into engaging and interactive content using H5P. This demonstration will showcase both the Moodle integrated H5P editor and the standalone Lumi editor. Step 1. Understanding H5P content types. Before you begin designing your content, it's important to get familiar with the wide variety of H5P content types available. Each serves a specific purpose, whether for text, images, videos, quizzes, or interactive elements.
So here is what I mentioned before also in my presentation. There are 50 plus interaction modes for training content. So it's very diversified, and you really need to decide for yourself who is the public that I'm going to address, what are they interested in. For example, I cannot imagine if you're going to train academics, you're going to put a memory game in it. I mean, memory game is obviously for a younger population. For example, we would use it in a school settings, primary and even secondary school education.
This seems similar to the e-learning platform that we use in the university, where we can create, tests for exams, or we upload learning material for the students and all that. It looks even the
maybe this is H5P, I don't know.
The setup is similar.
You can preview and explore all content types directly in Lumi or on h5p.org.
So here you see the interaction elements that you can create. And these are demonstrations for each of the objects.
Step 2. Installing Lumi, the standalone H5P editor. Download the Lumi software from https://lumi.education. Choose the version appropriate for your operating system, then install it. Once installed, open Lumi and click Create New H5P to launch the editor.
So here you see literally all these objects pop up, and you select for, okay, I have this first brick of the content. What is the type that I want to use? And you look at the content that you have, and if you're lucky, this content is already created in a way that is friendly for what you want to do. And in the worst case, and no offense, but you often get academic training content, which is a little bit catastrophic in the sense of text.
Unfriendly.
And then you need to really, then you're in the process really of to reformat, change, to make it digestible actually.
And you can do it in any language.
Sorry?
You can do it in any language, not just in English.
This is not addressed in the video, but good question. So the good thing is, once these objects are created, so what we normally do also in project settings, because that's where all the translations have to be made, we make all these objects available, and they are selected per module, because in a module could have various objects. And then we make that available to them, and then we also give them access to the Lumi software. They open these objects, and each of these objects then gets translated, because it's like with an editor, you go in it and you translate it, you save it, and then you have your own local version. The same, suppose, for example, you have created a content, let's say from an academic paper or an academic document, and it is not the way that you wanted really the content to be intended. You can take the object, you can change it, modify it, provide again, and it's re-uploaded. So it's quite direct, but we're going to see how actually these content is created and how they are aligned. But so translation is possible, modification is possible, and extension is possible. That's also why we categorize it under OER, Open Education Resource, that you can take, adjust, modify, customize. Yes. Hoppa.
See a full list of available content types.
So there are many, as you see. Once you have done that many times, you know exactly, if I want this, that's the time that is the most.
Step 3. Creating an interactive book. For this bee-related training module, we'll use the interactive book content type. Add a title and cover. Provide a title for your book, upload a cover image and add a short descriptive text.
We'll show you in the back end how it is done, and then we quickly go to the front end, and you'll see the first result of that.
Customize the appearance by selecting a base color under behavioral settings.
So that's a look and feel actually that you address. And that's already how it comes immediately on the front end.
Add the first page, Introduction.
That's the original.
Create a new page and name it Introduction.
So whoever is editing starts copying and pasting from the original text.
Add a text content block with a heading, Heading 2, titled Introduction. Be sure to add metadata to help categorize and search for this item later. Fill in your introductory content.
So here you see we copy.
Note, when copying text from other programs, use Notepad or another plain text editor first to strip away formatting. This avoids unwanted styles being imported into Lumi.
The problem is with Microsoft Word is when you copy text, you copy lots of other formatting code. And what we see in many LMSs, they fail accessibility assessment. And why is that? When they copy the content, they copy that from WordPress, from Words or OpenOffice. They paste it directly into the editor, and all the backend formatting from Words is pasted in, and it makes your page totally inaccessible, because if you look at the code, it's mess XML, and it's a mess. So that's why always copy it first to Notepad, clean the formatting, and then you paste it. If you use Chrome and you have copied text, you will see the new Chrome version. If you right click, it will say paste as plain text. Yeah. And that's the option to use.
Insert an image, save and upload your image via the image content block.
So here we start the image from the document. Then we're going to add it. So you see the blocks are being formed. The Lego blocks are being put in place.
Review the result by clicking Save and previewing the page. Step 4. Adding interactive elements. Accordion. Select the accordion content type. Break down your text into individual paragraphs and add each as a separate item. Again, use Notepad to clean formatting before pasting. This allows users to expand and collapse sections interactively.
So what is happening here? Here they look at the text and say, okay, this text would be nice, not just purest text, but it's an accordion. So click, this is what I want to read. Click. The next part is coming available. And whoever puts it together, it needs a little bit of an understanding of the content. So for example, there we had a paragraph on AI and machine learning technologies. So the paragraph is addressing those, so we put the paragraph after that. So you see under it now, you have an accordion created. That's a process that is being repeated for this type of content.
Now it will create all the sections inside the
Yeah. To create them one by one.
chapters.
Yes. So that's why once you have the text, you have an understanding of the text. And again, it's the best if beforehand we say what we would like. For example, we had a recent training we had to enter, and we had asked all the editors to go through the 50 content types and then indicate in the text, we want this content type, want this content type, want this content type. And this better process much.
Sorry, who made this?
Step 5. Adding more.
So we asked the editors themselves
The editors.
to indicate it. So we had a training session where we explained all the 50 types, and then they indicate. You can imagine this goes much faster because the people that our staff does not have to think, what will this be? No,
Yes, they know what it is. Yes,
More pages and content types. Second page. Add another page and provide a title. Add a new text block, setting the page title as heading 2. Incorporate various H5P content types. Video. Embed relevant video materials for richer engagement.
Here you see for integrating video is actually quite easy. You give it an appropriate title, you put the concrete source, and immediately it will be fully integrated. So it's almost what you see is what you get. You see, you enter the course, and you will see at the bottom the video being integrated. So it's very straightforward.
Image hotspots.
That's one where you have an image plus
Customize hotspot icons and colors.
Yeah.
Use a background image. Add and position interactive points on the image. Add header, which will be the hotspot title, and the content item, which can be text, video, image, and audio.
So that's again also that's the richness of A5P. As I said before, if you wanted to do an image and you had overlays, so the little overlay you had to manually create your overlay in the HTML code. If you wanted to integrate videos, audios, and etc., it was a lot of work. And this actually does it in a matter of in less than a minute. You set it up. So in this case, we put a text. So it means when people will click on the hotspot, they will get the text. But as I said before, it could be audio, it could be video, image.
You give me ideas for restructuring the courses.
So you see, it's
They would
very
fail at the end.
it's very straightforward. It's very easy to do it. And the one course on novel technology.
Course presentation. This format allows multiple slides.
So here we have the topic benefits. There are a range of benefits. Now all these benefits one by one we'll put on a slide. See that.
Embed text, images, videos, and more within a slide-based layout.
The positioning is fully customizable. Once you know the alignment, you just apply the same for the next ones. You will see the outcome. It will be slides that you can go through. And now she will add, he in this case, will add an image. Put the image where you want. So the same.
Add as many pages, slides, as needed for structured delivery.
Yeah. So the clone slide is in case, for example, you say, okay, I want the slides all to look the same, titled the same place, the image the same place, the text. So you clones the previous one, you adjust the text so you have a consistency that doesn't jump around on the screen. The same for video, same for audio. And the fact that each of them are annotated also means someone's using screener.
So far, we focused on
some of them will use ARIA, Accessible Rich Internet Application, and by making the necessary annotations and attributes, the screener user can understand how he or she or it will navigate through everything.
How to transform plain text into interactive H5P content using the standalone Lumi editor. Now, we will move on to the Moodle integrated H5P editor.
So that's one.
Many features and content types are shared between Lumi and Moodle.
So this is the micro-credential training we already developed. Was already last year. It follows this H5P approach. We run it because we have been using it for our coffee people. And that's a suggestion.
Moodle's H5P editor, so you'll find much of the process familiar. To begin working with H5P content inside Moodle, you first need to log in as an administrator. Create a course using the H5P single activity format. Navigate to your Moodle dashboard and create a new course.
And you see that there are
H5P.
there are many choices. It's not interactive content. Yes. Grab the words, mark them. Nice.
Under course format, select single activity format and then choose H5P activity as the activity type.
So I repeat again, I mean, you can do it on Moodle, but I find the Lumi approach easier. It's more compact and there's less clutter because on Moodle it shows lots of other things that have to do specifically with Moodle. That's a personal opinion.
Complete the course setup and save your changes. Once the course is created, click on the H5P activity link inside the course. Use the upload option to add your pre-made H5P file, created in Lumi or downloaded from h5p.org.
So here, we start now from the scenario. I have created in Lumi my objects. They are ready. Now I'm going to upload them into the system.
After uploading, review the settings and metadata, then save and
So that's very important because if you remember from the previous presentation, if you want to make it open and you want others to modify, to translate it, maybe the app, You need to put it as download, and that's done very straightforward. At the bottom of the object, you will see a small icon, and you download. And literally, you download all the content
In
one
format?
package, an H5P package.
Okay.
Then you can reopen it in Lumi. You can modify again the way you want. Embed. Embed is in the case that you say, okay, I like this module, but I don't have my own platform. I want to embed it on a HTML page. You can do that. Take the code,
On
embed it in
website.
website, WordPress, Joomla, God knows whatever. And you can have the full functionality because it creates an embed functionality. Copyright button is
does not allow to copy it.
No. I can't remember what we promised in the project, but for example, if it's open education research, you can say, okay, I want a common creatives license 4.0 and etc. In the copyright button, you can enter that information. People will be, hey, what is the copyright? Click, and they can follow what is the copyright. What am I allowed to do with this object? Yes or no? Which I think in this project we will need to address because this is also something.
Display the content. Moodle also provides a built-in way to create and manage H5P content without using external tools like Lumi.
So this is now the specific editor embedded in Moodle.
Access the content bank. Click the Add button and select H5P interactive content from the drop-down menu.
So this is
You'll see a full list of available H5P content types, just like in Lumi or on h5p.org. Select the content type you want to use: interactive book, course presentation, image hotspots. Under behavioral settings, you can choose a base color to match your course branding.
So you see here, that part is exactly like in Lumi. All right? That's the same interface part.
To change interface language or adjust labels and messages shown to learners, go to Text Overrides and Translations. Begin entering your content just as you did in Lumi. Add titles, text blocks, images, and interactive elements as needed.
So for example, if you're co-creating a course, this is the way to do it. Because then you're all working on the same online installation. You can open it, you can modify, etc. On the Lumi, you don't have this co-creation process because these are literally stored on your own laptop. You see the practice is the same as in the previous one. So heading functionality is very important for screen readers once again. Normally the main heading in the web page, when you open the HTML code, you'll see heading 1 will normally be the title of the page. It's correctly formatted. That means the first content headline that you're allowed to create in a well-designed LMS system or a website will be heading 2. And why is this important? If you're not following these correct headings, a screen reader cannot understand how the page is organized. I don't know if you have experience with screen readers or you ever have seen them using it, but a person with visual impairments never accesses a page and starts reading. They don't do that. First thing they do is they scan the page and they look for all the headings. And if a heading jumps from 2 to 1 to 3, the person cannot understand what the structure is. So first he will read heading 1, then under heading 1 he says, I want to read all the headings, heading 2, heading 2, heading 2, heading 2, heading 2. Oh, this one is more interesting. He selects heading 2, heading 2.1, 2.3, 2, 2.3, and etc. So it's all a matter of having a structured content, and H5P fully supports that.
Once you've created your H5P object, save it in the content bank. You can now insert it into any Moodle course or activity by adding an H5P activity and linking to the stored content.
So the same is for Joomla, the same is if you do it in WordPress, Drupal, Opinio. Opinio is the LMS based on Drupal. It's all the same process to be applied. And we develop at the moment for WordPress, Moodle, Opinio, And then for Moodle,
Both the
we have
Moodle
some-
integrated H5P editor and the standalone Lumi editor are powerful tools for creating interactive content, but each serves slightly different needs depending on your workflow. In summary, Lumi is perfect for content creation and experimentation outside the LMS, while Moodle's content bank excels at organizing, deploying, and maintaining content within the platform.
So that's the end of the video. I will make this video available via a Google Drive so that people can download it if they want. I don't know if there are any questions.
So today's workshop from Mine Vaganti NGO and Italian partner side is about joint training and mobility programs with a focus on COVID program. So what are joint training and mobility programs? Well, they are collaborative initiatives between countries and or institutions that are aimed at enhancing skills, exchanging knowledge, and promoting innovation. Joint training and mobility programs involves students, teachers, experts, and companies. And they are core part of the European and international education and workforce development strategies, such as Erasmus Plus programs, Horizon Europe, Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, and indeed COVID. We mentioned the target groups that are involved in these mobilities and programs, and are students, teachers, experts, and industries. So speaking about students, these kind of initiatives helps to gain practical experience in diverse professional environments, helps to build intercultural competencies, and enhance their employability by experiencing innovative teaching and industry practices. Coming to teachers, these kind of initiatives support the expansion of pedagogical approaches and the co-developing of curricula with international peers, and aligns their training methods with the evolving global labor market needs. And coming to expert and industries. Okay, cannot. Okay. These kind of initiatives help to access new generations' perspectives, foster cross-border collaboration, and contribute to shaping responsive, future-oriented vocational programs. Okay. So coming to COVID initiative and related mobilities. So COVID initiatives are pillars of excellent vocational education in Europe, and are formed by networks of partners that develop local skills ecosystem to provide high quality vocational skills to young people and adults. They contribute to regional development, innovation, industrial clusters, smart specialization strategies, and social inclusion. And also COVID stimulate local business development by working closely with companies on applied research projects, helps to create and boost knowledge and innovation hubs, as well as supporting entrepreneurial initiatives of learners. But we are speaking about vocational excellence, but what is vocational excellence? Well, vocational excellence is high quality training and education, which is relevant to the world of work and to the attractiveness of the educational offer to learners and to employers. And it may also imply an enlarged conceptualization of skills provision, addressing innovation, regional and local development, lifelong learning, and smart specialization. I have a video for you. Okay, so this was the video promoted by the European Commission about COVID. So let's come back to the presentation. Okay. Can you see it again? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so to recap, what are the key features that were mentioned also in the video? The key features of COV initiatives are about entrepreneurship, promotion, and upskilling. So to promote innovation, entrepreneurship in general, social inclusion, and also to the aim to develop innovation hubs and mentoring programs. Also, another key feature is the transnational partnership development. So COVI operates at local and international levels in partnership with industries and research bodies, and creates stable consortia among education providers and companies. Also international work-based learning, so to deliver high-quality, learn-centered BET programs aligned with labor market needs, and to allow curriculum co-creation and design modular and industry-responsive programs. And finally, the attention to the green and digital transition, so to support the green and digital transitions by fostering upskilling and reskilling pathways in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and green energy. I have a very nice map here, which makes which shows the actual existing COVI network in Europe and in the world. And you can find it on this website, Catapult, which is aimed at collecting all the ongoing and finished projects. So you can consult what is going on and be inspired, of course. But let's move to the more practical part, and let's speak about some good practices in the field of joint training and mobility programs. So the first project we chose to speak about is called Growing Green Circularity in VET. It's an Erasmus Plus partnership for cooperation and exchanges of practices, and the partners involved were Italy, Denmark, Slovenia, and Spain. The project planned to link the concept of circular economy with the need to boost entrepreneurial competencies for future employees in Europe, but also to raise awareness about environmental and climate change challenges and circular economy topics among VET teachers and students, and wanted to reinforce their entrepreneurship competencies through workplace practical learning, and also to bring education to life through practical experiential learning model, game-based learning, and practical shared experience with real-world entrepreneurs. And the objectives were to help teachers and students to become familiar with practical competencies in green entrepreneurship. So they were working on real cases of in business and industry, but also to design innovative training materials to foster this green entrepreneurial skills and mindset, and to equip the target group with the skills for also mentoring and guiding others toward a green and circular thinking in entrepreneurship. And finally, to encourage a cooperation between VET schools, local businesses, to support and develop green and circular solutions. A second project that was very interesting in this framework is called Entrecomp for Transition. Again, it's an Erasmus Plus key action partnership for cooperation and exchanges of practices among Austria, Belgium, Italy, Spain, and Turkey. And the aim of this project is to develop new, innovative, multidisciplinary approaches to teaching and learning in order to pave the way for the future green transition facilitation, and also to foster an entrepreneurial mindset, facilitating co-creation and ensuring recognition of learning outcomes. Activity includes the analysis of skill gaps in this field, the development of dual blended methodology with innovative learning content delivered via online learning and pilot sessions, the creation of open badges to support HE and VET and enable businesses to verify competencies, and a sustainable artificial intelligence-based tool to support companies in identifying skill gaps and raise their competitiveness. And the final, the last good practice we selected is SEED, Sustainable Energy Education. Again, it's an Erasmus Plus, but a key action, cooperation among organizations and institutions, among Greece, Germany, Spain, Finland, and Netherlands. And this project focuses on equipping communities with the tools and knowledge needed for a clean energy future, invest in essential skills to power the clean energy transition, identify and share good practices, connect current challenges to strategic solutions, and develop priorities tailored on each involved region, but also to bring diverse stakeholders through workshops, practical workshops, conferences, fostering collaboration, and a shared commitment to sustainable energy education. And the objectives are to emphasize green, digital, and soft skills in order to address the evolving demands of the energy sector and bridge the gap between current competencies and the future requirements of the industry sector, but also to foster the collaboration between regions, strengthen regional collaboration, and align with the sustainability goals. And finally, to enhance sustainable energy education by identifying and sharing successful regional practices, such as specialized program, including a minor in smart sustainable cities, training in agro-circularity, collaboration between education and industry through initiatives like innovation hubs and skills competitions, financial sustainability, and adaptation of these practices to diverse regional contexts. So I'm done, and thank you very much for your attention. So this was the video promoted by the European Commission. Okay, so this was the video promoted by the Okay, so to recap, what are the key features that were mentioned also in the video? The key features of COVI initiatives are about entrepreneurship, promotion, and upskilling. So to promote innovation, entrepreneurship in general, social inclusion, and also to the aim to develop innovation hubs and mentoring programs. Also, another key feature is the transnational partnership development. So COVI operates at local and international levels in partnership with industries and research bodies, and creates stable consortia among education providers and companies. Also international work-based learning, so to deliver high-quality, learn-centered BET programs aligned with labor market needs and to allow curriculum co-creation and design modular and industry responsive programs. And finally, the attention to the green and digital transition. So to support the green and digital transitions by fostering upskilling and reskilling pathways in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and green energy. I have a very nice map here, which makes which shows the actual existing COVI network in Europe and in the world. And you can find it on this website Catapult, which is aimed at collecting all the ongoing and finished projects. So you can consult what is going on and be inspired, of course. But let's move to the more practical part, and let's speak about some good practices in the field of joint training and mobility programs. So the first project we chose to speak about is called Growing Green Circularity in VET. It's an Erasmus Plus partnership for cooperation and exchanges of practices, and the partners involved were Italy, Denmark, Slovenia, and Spain. The project planned to link the concept of circular economy with the need to boost entrepreneurial competencies for future employees in Europe, but also to raise awareness about environmental and climate change challenges and circular economy topics among VET teachers and students, and wanted to reinforce their entrepreneurship competencies through workplace practical learning, and also to bring education to life through practical experiential learning model, game-based learning, and practical shared experience with real-world entrepreneurs. And the objectives were to help teachers and students to become familiar with practical competencies in green entrepreneurship. So they were working on real cases of in business and industry, but also to design innovative training materials to foster this green entrepreneurial skills and mindset, and to equip the target group with the skills for also mentoring and guiding others toward a green and circular thinking in entrepreneurship. And finally, to encourage a cooperation between VET schools, local businesses, to support and develop green and circular solutions. A second project that was very interesting in this framework is called Entrecomp for Transition. Again, it's an Erasmus Plus key action partnership for cooperation and exchanges of practices among Austria, Belgium, Italy, Spain, and Turkey. And the aim of this project is to develop new, innovative, multidisciplinary approaches to teaching and learning in order to pave the way for the future green transition facilitation, and also to foster an entrepreneurial mindset, facilitating co-creation and ensuring recognition of learning outcomes. Activity includes the analysis of skill gaps in this field, the development of dual blended methodology with innovative learning content delivered via online learning and pilot sessions, the creation of open badges to support HE and VET and enable businesses to verify competencies, and a sustainable artificial intelligence-based tool to support companies in identifying skill gaps and raise their competitiveness. And the final, the last good practice we selected is SEED, Sustainable Energy Education. Again, it's an Erasmus Plus, but a key action, cooperation among organizations and institutions, among Greece, Germany, Spain, Finland, and Netherlands. And this project focuses on equipping communities with the tools and knowledge needed for a clean energy future, invest in essential skills to power the clean energy transition, identifies and share good practices, connect current challenges to strategic solution, and develop priorities tailored on each involved region, but also to bring diverse stakeholders through workshops, practical workshops, conferences, fostering collaboration, and a shared commitment to sustainable energy education. And the objectives are to emphasize green, digital, and soft skills in order to address the evolving demands of the energy sector, and bridge the gap between current competencies and the future requirements of the industry sector, but also to foster the collaboration between regions, strengthen regional collaboration, and align with the sustainability goals. And finally, to enhance sustainable energy education by identifying and sharing successful regional practices, such as specialized program, including a minor in smart sustainable cities, training in agro-circularity, collaboration between education and industry through initiatives like innovation hubs and skills competitions, financial sustainability, and adaptation of these practices to diverse regional contexts. So I'm done, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thinking about what we could present, I kind of fell back on my own area of expertise, which was sort of promotion, marketing. We spent at our development agency building up a local brand of the Upper Slovenia Valley for past 5 or 6 years. So I figured maybe something that could help smaller scale beekeepers. This is more tied to our regional issue, I would say, because most of the beekeepers in our region are small-scale beekeepers, and that they don't necessarily sell to at large scales. So the question was, how can part-time or small-scale beekeepers be better at marketing their products? Specifically for those that don't rely entirely on beekeeping as their main source of income. So there are advantages to that. You can focus on what makes your product very unique, like local flora, sustainable methods, artisan quality. And the big thing to do is to identify your buyers early, which is, again, not just local residents, but here I always suggest that we focus on tourism, health-conscious consumers, or eco-minded customers. So a lot of times this is very important to make your product visually appealing, as they say, to catch your eye. So investment in attractive eco-friendly packaging is one way to do that. I mean, we've seen over the years big growth in unboxing channels on YouTube, where they simply focus on the whole unboxing experience. I know Apple, for instance, pens, they have an entire unit there that just looks at packaging, how product is interacted in that stage. So I would say, whatever your capabilities are, just make sure that you highlight, certain things like natural origin, sustainability, and your local identity, because the visual appeal does add quite a bit of value. As for sales channels, what we did here in Slovenia, what we do primarily is we focus on local farmers markets, tourist spots. We have tourist information centers that often carry local products. We also have how would you say that dispensing machines laid out. For instance, we have one near the road on the way to work where you can buy local farmers' products, and you can also buy some of those places honey. You can also visit crafters, eco stores, and other cooperatives. You can in the area. You can also a lot of them actually do offer also delivery, and they list products on local platforms. We have Boha. I'm sure Italy and other partner countries have their own sort of local places where you can online marketplaces where you can list your products. Also, it's good to connect with other farmers that also offer local product. We visited once it's hard to explain. It's a tourist farm. Let's put it that way. It's a tourist farm, and the guide was telling us everything that they were, what they built and what they're also building. And they never said, "Oh, we're building a tourist spot or something." He was saying, "We're building a story." That's what he kept saying. This is this story. This is that story. And that's sort of what I would also tie. What you can tie a product to. You can tie it to a story. And as a species, that sort of what we like. We like to share stories. We like to talk. So you can sell your. Alexa, just a moment. Can you close the window, please? So you can build your product as a story. Like you can share your journey as a beekeeper. You can mention traditions. And whatever is in your local area that makes you unique. For instance, in Slovenia, we have a tradition of putting artworks on our beehives, and that's very unique to our area. Now, the digital presence is always more important. It's been important for a long time. Aside from Facebook and Instagram pages, I would suggest also that you do not ignore having a website. It does lend some legitimacy. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. I would say the simpler the better. And when we were building our Visit Savinska brand, we'd also noticed a very long time ago that most of the interactions with the website has been over the phone, almost 70%. So in addition to Facebook and Instagram, don't ignore the website because in a lot of cases, maybe you will miss out on a certain demographic. I don't want to say a mold, but if I'm going to buy something, I usually am not going to buy the Facebook or Instagram. I actually need a website. It just offers a certain sense of legitimacy to what you're doing. And also, I would suggest it gets ignored a lot. Make your product availability and your contact info also as prominent as your photos and videos, so that people don't. The worst thing you can do is if you want to buy a product is if you're looking, oh, how do I contact this person? How do I find this person? Make that very obvious where you can be found and how you can be contacted. You can develop. Again, these are sort of the basics. I would avoid necessarily using AI to generate a logo. Things of that sort should be very easy to remember. Your colors should be again very easy to remember, tied to unique story. Also, you can build branding and value-added products. You can tie your products to bundles, like holiday events or holiday gifts, and that might bring a higher margin in terms of bulk sales. For instance, every year companies look for gifts that they can bundle up and give to their partners. That's another way to bring added value to your product. Don't again ignore the power of community. In Slovenia, we do have strong partnerships with schools, just in terms of education. That also brings awareness about different types of honeys you can buy, and just general knowledge about it. So I would say engage with your community initiatives, participate in fairs, and make educational workshops, which is sort of what our project is about anyway. And I would say the main conclusions of that would be that small beekeepers can thrive locally. Again, it's sort of focusing on the quality product, focusing on the community, and connecting with the local population. So maybe the last word would be make your honey stand out not by volume but by meaning. So yeah, create a story about it and try to sell the story. And that would be it for
Thank you very much.